Hey there, Tim from ModelKitReviews.com, and I'm going to do another quick build video, but this is a little more comical. This is actually, I'm almost doing this almost on a dare. Now, let's take a look at this. This is a, let me move the lamp so you can actually see the writing on the box. This is a military miniatures Tamiya kit, and what this is World War II, German Nazi troopers, one standing, one mounted on horseback. And we were at the local hobby shop, my friend Paul and I, as we were known to do on lunch break from work. And we saw this on the shelf, and it was in the clearance rack, I think for $5 or $3 or something like that. And I was like, well, I'll pick this up. It's 1/35th scale. I don't really do military, but it was at the time I was working on the Gira Zulu, so I was kind of in that mindset of like German officer uniforms anyway. And we saw it, and we got back to work, and we got looking at the back, and he was like, you know, those are actually pretty cool looking. Like you've got, one trooper that comes that's, in a stance to be seated on the horse. You've got a horse in there, and then you also have this trooper that's standing. And move the light again. And we just got looking at it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do with it. It's not really, it's not really my cup of tea. I don't know. I'll figure something out. And then it hit him. His challenge to me was, why don't you take this horse and this guy here who's standing and make a Nazi Centaur? And I said, that sounds like a great idea. So here we are. I have the little guy. This is the standing trooper, and notice. I'll put the box behind it there. So he doesn't have a helmet on. Oh, it's focusing on the guy. My camera picks up faces, and it was picking up the drawing. That's fantastic. Anyway, so there's the little guy. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to saw him in half right at the coat. That's the logical breaking point right there. So it'll be just half of him. And then we have the horse, and he comes as two halves. And what we're going to do is we'll glue him together, and then we'll slice him off like right about, I don't know, I'll try and do as straight a cut as I can right there. And then we'll take the two and weld them together, and it'll look, I don't know, it'll look like something. Hopefully good. Hopefully something good is what I'm hoping for. So let's go start cutting. All right, so we're back here, and what I'm doing now is I'm just going through and gluing the horse together so that we can then cut him in half, because it'll just be easier to do. So doing that with some Tamiya cement and some extra thin. And then once we've got him together, we will go through and remove all the seam lines and stuff. Hopefully this guy goes together okay. Never built a Tamiya kit before, which isn't that big a deal. It's a model kit, right? It's not like it's some super foreign thing. But I'm just getting used to how this guy works. The fit and finish is definitely quite different than, say, a Bandai kit. Feels more like one of the throwback kind of like 70s kits I do. At any rate, it seems like I'm going to be holding this horse for a little while to make sure he fuses together. So I will cut short this very boring piece of the video, and we'll check back when the horse is dry. Figure I'd turn the camera back on for a second. So I realized I don't actually have a hobby saw. I was going to use a hacksaw, but all my blades were too thick for it. So what I ended up doing, just using my nippers, I just kind of chewed off the bottom part of the figure. Took my file to it, and now I'm just using some 400 grit sandpaper, and we're just taking our soldier here. We're just going to get a nice flat surface so that it's all even with his coat, because that'll be the cutoff point, so we don't have to worry about really hiding anything. We just kind of glue that on there, and I think we're just about good on that. A couple little cleanup pieces, but no big deal. That looks really all right. So there you go. That is how you cut a Nazi in half to mount the top half of his body onto a horse. All right, we're back. The horse is looking pretty good, dry enough as far as I'm concerned. I decided to get out my trusty Dremel. Not that I usually need much of an excuse, but with the actual soldier top itself, I ended up using my nippers. But I didn't want to do that in this case because I need a really clean cut. Because if you look, we've got it so that there's this hump on the back of the horse. And I've already kind of committed to the fact that I'm going to have to rebuild some of the front of the horse with milliput. But that's no big deal. I'd much rather do that than have to build out the back, right? So, got kind of figure that the soldier is going to sit right about, I guess, there. Right, that just, I mean, that seems like the logical spot. Hopefully my camera decides to work with me on this. Have him sit like right about there, you know? So it's almost like his legs would go straight down, kind of thing. I don't know. That seems about right to me. So if I went any lower, you start actually getting into the back of the horse. So that just seems like that would be the logical breaking point. Like I said, the front of this will have to all be redone with milliput anyway. And that's all right. So let's, I guess, cut into this guy and see what happens. All right, after tons of cutting, as you can tell from the debris here, I finally got it. So we're right there, boom. I think that is going to do it. So what I'm going to do now is go and shape this guy up a bit, and that way it's all nice and round and everything like that. It's just a lot more delicate work than what the Dremel's capable of really handling. And I actually don't really have to milliput too much. I was impressed by that. Like it's pretty hollow up here on the top, but that's no big deal. That'll be under his coat. So just slap a little bit of milliput under there and we're good to go. But yeah, I mean, this is actually coming together surprisingly well. So we'll hopefully next time you see this, get everything rounded out and have this guy fixed to the top. I can't believe this actually worked, but there it is. There's the top of our German soldier attached to a horse making a centaur. You can see I got a little bit of the neck there. I'm going to go in with some probably some milliput, fill that in, and then sculpt out the details to actually make it look like it goes up there. But the back looks pretty good, not too shabby. The coat overhang is as good as it's going to get it. I mean, this is a total kitbash kind of thing. So hopefully when it's done, it doesn't just look like he got stuck on top of there. It actually looks like something. But so far it's like, yeah, that would be a horse with a German soldier sitting on top of it as part of it. So, all right, so here we are. Been about a day since I've worked on our Nazi Centaur, and I got the front skirt sculpted. It looks a little rough. It's still not quite dry, but we got to carve some details out. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. I think we'll definitely go with it. So now we can, I'll just go through, get some seam lines taken care of, glue on the arms and the head, and call it good. All right, so after a couple hours worth of building, our 1/35th scale military miniatures from Tamiya, our SS mounted horseback team, what do we have to show for it with our Centaur that we made? Well, there you are. All of these sprues, 2 soldiers and a horse, and we have our SS Centaur that I have no idea what I'm going to do with. But I can say that since this kit was more or less constructed out of a zany idea a friend of mine had, I can say that the the promise is fulfilled, Paul. So I can stop hearing about it. I should give it to him so he can paint it and do whatever he wants to with it. So again, I still got to clean up that front jacket where I had to remake that out of milliput. No big deal. It just needs to dry more, and then I can sand it down to a nice smooth finish. But I've got I did have to remake the back coat slightly so it actually looks like it's sitting on top of the horseback. But I'm really happy with it. I'm actually, it's so silly, and that gun's not glued in place because if it gets painted, you're going to want to paint that gun and then glue it, because I can't even imagine the nightmare you'd have trying to paint that while it's in the arm like that. So there we even get the tail on there. Look at that, fancy town. All right, we'll just take that gun out for now. So cool, and the nice thing is that in this world, horses ride men. So put the little saddle on there. And then out comes Commander Horseface, which we can, yeah, I don't even, this was just, hey, I have all these leftover parts. I should glue a horse head onto this guy. And then lo and behold, horse head riding Centaur guy. Very fun. All right, guys, if you've actually watched this, thanks for indulging me with this stupid little dare project. Please like, subscribe, and all that stuff. I can't promise there'll be another one of these anytime soon, but who knows? Next time I'm hitting the military model discount aisle, I just might find something that catches my fancy, and we can do another mashup between animals and soldiers. Who knows? Anyway, until next time, guys, we'll talk to you later.